Hello everyone and welcome to State of the Realm, your weekly Final Fantasy XIV podcast. This week, the long-awaited patch 4.3 Eorzivia is happening. We are officially dubbing this State of the Realm 177 Eorzivia. We tried to wait for Pagos, but never mind. 4.3 edition. So, to do that, well, I don't really need any more of an intro, so let's get started. I'm one of your hosts, Michael, Mr. Happy Poker. Of course, joining me is my co-host and enemy, just for the sake of these shows, Slyh, aka Slythefox, aka Slyh, aka Greyfox, aka you, my boy Blue. How you doing, Slyh?
Not so bad. How are you now?
I'm doing pretty good. I got a new look. I got a shave. I got a haircut. I'm feeling alright, Slyh.
Oh, when did you get your haircut?
2 days ago. Forgot already.
Me too.
Show us the haircut.
They'll see the haircut.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean because you think? Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I'll explain that later. I understand. All right. And as you can hear, a Muppet who generally wakes up on time, but once or twice hasn't. That would be Ethys.
Oh, what's up, guys? How you doing? I feel like that's an upgrade. I feel like last time you were saying that it was like sort of 50-50, and now I'm just like just over the line where I'm like back to just reliable. You know what I mean?
Well, reliable is a good place to be most of the time.
I like to think so.
Yeah. How are you doing, Ethys?
Hi. I'm good. It's been a hot minute, hasn't it? It's been a little while.
Well, we kept waiting over and over to do Eorzivia because we're like, no, Pagos will be next week. No, it'll be next week. No, it'll be next week. And now we're 2 weeks after Pagos being released, and I still haven't even finished the story for Pagos. So
you know the thing that frustrates me about Eureka, we know there's like another 3 or 4 zones, right?
2 more.
2 more.
4 total.
Mm-hmm.
4 total, didn't they? Wasn't there talk about a data mining that showed 6 areas?
I didn't hear anything about that. If there is, then just save me now.
All right. Well,
just please.
That's what I heard, and that seems to imply that it's going to be like rolling over the next expansion, and we're not actually going to have a conclusion.
I hope you had selective hearing
5 years.
because I'm having chat reply and say you're wrong. So good. All right.
I'm wrong. All right. Good. Okay, good. I'm glad.
Less content than we expected. Excellent.
I am so glad that I'm wrong about that. That is excellent.
Before we get started, a couple things. First of all, I want to remind everyone watching that SteelSeries sponsors the show, and they sponsor a monthly giveaway. I want to do that reminder at the beginning because that way you guys enter the SteelSeries giveaways. If you're watching this on YouTube specifically, check in the description. If you're watching it live on Twitch right now, go to last week's YouTube video and find the giveaway entry there. Everything, the rules, all the stuff you need to know is there. So thank you, SteelSeries, for free stuff.
Thank you.
We like free stuff. There you go. Now, second thing, Slyh, what level are you in Pagos?
26, like a micrometer to 27. Like I just killed a random chain and I'm 27.
There you go. I'm 32. So
Yay.
what that tells us is if Ethys has any questions about Pagos, we probably can't answer them.
Mm-hmm.
So Ethys, for everyone here, before we start, did you have any questions about Pagos?
I was just going to ask, and you two can probably already answer, what was being kept in the prison at Pagos, or what we sort of suspected.
So I haven't done the level 35 quest, and I'm okay with you telling me what the answer is, because I only know what the level 25 quest says, that it's an icon, or that they keep calling it.
The level 25 quest says it's an icon, so like we immediately think it's a primal, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And I haven't done the level 35 quest either, but I've seen screenshots of the dialogue, and it seems that the masked guy is like channeling ether into himself.
Oh,
And he says, what does he say? There's this one screenshot I've seen. He's like, got his arms out. He's like, I am Eureka. And I'm just like, oh, fuck. So
there's that. So that would have been the question.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Have we ruined anything by not knowing this?
Mm-hmm.
I've ruined.
No.
We have. Okay, I thought you said.
No. I don't think so. No.
Okay,
it's fine.
Good. All right. So, Sly, with that, we have to become enemies for the next however long it takes for us to get these questions wrong. I am the belt
enemies. You guys are allowed to like help each other.
I'm the belt holder currently.
That's true.
So, Sly, it is now your job to take the belt from me.
Oh,
is it?
Take his belt off.
I need you to take it off, and I need you to take it off slowly. All right. I need that moment to last. All right. Sly doesn't look like he wants to take the belt off in any capacity.
What's wrong, Sly? You don't like Mike? You want to take his belt off?
That's all right. I mean, it is more than a belt. It is a subligar altogether.
That's actually, that's a good point. Yeah.
I guess
you probably want to watch that.
Yeah. I guess I can't really blame him for that. So with that though, I do have one other disappointing piece of news for you, Ethys.
Oh, no.
I was unable to locate, although I'm positive I still have it, the file in which we have Louisoux, and that is something I have a hard time living without.
Oh, that's fine.
No.
That's okay, because I also am unable to find the file where I've gotten the intro written. So
okay, we discussed certain things.
Janky intro.
I've got something else. I've got a teaser from the next Tales of the Storm that I think we can use, which would be pretty good.
From the next one.
Yeah, from the next one. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's not from any of the previous ones. It's from the next one.
The one we don't know yet.
Yeah. It's a teaser. Yeah, 100%. I'm not pulling your leg. I'm super.
Okay, I'm strapped in for this ride. Let's go.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Something else demanded Estinian's attention, a matter for him alone. Spent of ether as they were, it had not been easy a task to track them down. As the final battle was joined, his friends fought on. He quietly intercepted a squadron of flying armor that was moved to flank them. It was then that he felt the call, a power he knew as intimately as he knew himself, emanating from the skies high above the royal palace. Pulling the tip of his lance free of a smoldering wreck, he struck out at a brisk run, making his way through the unfolding chaos. But by the time he finally emerged in the gardens of the royal menagerie, it was all over, all save his own task. Even without seeing them, he knew exactly where they lay. Striding through the exotic flowers, heedless of their beauty, he came to a halt at a patch like any other. And there they were, Louisoux' fucking panties. But
you know, I knew it was all coming down to the eyes being replaced with the subligar. The only problem was, I was like, does this mean we now need to get art of Estinian in the subligar? Is that like the new canon?
Yeah, probably. Can someone get on that, please?
Now I have to find the Louisoux one because people need to. Luckily, it stayed being the same race.
Yeah, so, that's true. You could probably just like replace the head, right?
Just put a helmet on.
I want to know.
Yeah.
I just want to know what record that came from. There they are, Louisoux' fucking panties. Like,
yeah, I want to read that tombstone in Final Fantasy 17.
I'll tell you, it's in the next Tales of the Storm.
The next Tales of the Storm, they just took the current one and just changed the ending.
No, it's the next one. It's the secret ending.
The secret end. All right.
Mm-hmm.
The secret. All right. I'm not even gonna dive anymore into that. So
just let me have this.
I'm letting you have it. I didn't think I'd say this. By the way, I literally just went looking and I did find the subligar thing. But so somebody, here's what you need to do. You need to take what I'm about to put on your screen, and then the next time that we do it, you know, I just need that, but I need that, but as Estinian instead. So
nice.
So when we do the 4.4 one, we have that. Although to be fair, by 5.0, he may want it to be Gaius. So I don't know if we need to like start creating them
jump the gun
for multiple characters, or if like we should just kind of, Estinian's the next bearer of the subligar. So somebody take that pose, that general style, and make it a bunch of other characters, and please tweet it at Ethys Asher, Mr. Happy 1227, and Slyh, aka Greyfox. Is that I always forget. Is that your okay? That's your Twitter name, not your Twitter handle. That's what always confuses me. It's just Slythefox technically on Twitter. All right.
Yep.
So there you go. Okay.
So with that, Ethys, why don't you explain to everybody what Eorzivia is, and we can get started with the questions.
Eorzivia is it's a trivia show where I try and make these two jabronis look like even more of jabronis than they really are, and I pretend that I know a lot more than I really do because I've got all the answers written in front of me in preparation. It's good.
Yeah, that's all right. So with that, you're going to ask us questions and we look dumb. Got it.
That's right. That's right. So who wants to go first?
You want to rock, paper, scissors for this one, Slyh?
But
isn't it Champion's Choice?
Yeah, I think it's Champion's Choice. Mike's.
Have we ever enforced? I mean, I'm down for it. I don't know that we've ever enforced
we've always enforced that. It's consistent. There's one thing. There's
I
one
thought it was
thing
the defending champion, maybe.
We're super consistent with Eorzivia. It's always like so consistent.
Yeah, it's paramount. As you can tell by the intro right before this, it's our integrity is what matters the most. All right, well, if I'm getting a choice, then I want Slyh going first.
All right. Okay. All right, Slyh. Here's question one for you, matey potato. What do the Garlands believe to have caused the burn?
You're not allowed to get this one wrong, Slyh. You're really not.
No, I agree. That would be pretty tragic.
I wish I'd gone first. Too late.
It was like wasn't it? And this is going to sound so broad. It was like an expulsion of ether from a primal a really long time ago, and it left the crater now known as the burn.
It was not an expulsion of ether, no. Mike?
Expulsion.
They exist and they just suck ether out of the ground. They just existed.
Just the opposite.
Although to be fair, they met in a battle there specifically. His forces actually ran into the primals. They weren't just chilling there. That was where they first encountered them in battle, and they just wiped the ether out of the area.
I mean, you're both wrong. I'm gonna give Mike half a point because it was caused by primal summonings. So basically, the story goes that Emperor Solus, when he first came to Orthard, on his conquest, he saw the burn and was like, "Yo,
that's right. He did see the burn.
What's up with this? What's happened here?" And it was basically explained to him that it was caused by a succession of icon summonings in some long past conflict, and he was like, "Oh damn!" And that's basically when he decided that there were a blight upon the star, and they needed to be eradicated at all costs.
Solus like, "Oh damn!
Oh damn! Oh
damn!" I don't know why I overthought that one so much. I always thought that was where they met in battle. I thought they met them in battle there for some reason.
No, I don't think we actually know when they first encountered primals in battle.
Couldn't have been long after that. Couldn't have been Eorzivia. It had to be before that.
Yeah, it had to be before Eorzivia. I would say it would probably have been somewhere in Orthard.
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
So that's half a point to Mike. And Mike, this is your question now. It sounds real easy. Like, I can't believe.
I overthought that one super hard.
All right, Mike. For what purpose did Asahi facilitate the summoning of Tsukuyomi?
So I don't want to make sure I get this wording right, because it's a two-pronged reason. It's not just one. One is he knew that, or at least he was instructed by what's his name, Xenos. I'll put in quotes. Instructed by Xenos that it would prompt them to put down a threat, a primal threat, which would mean Domans attacking Garleans, which means, you know, sign of hostility, which allows them to kind of reignite the fuels of war there. But that wasn't the only reason. The other, if I recall, the other part of it was, because they agreed. They specifically agreed they put down primal threats, but then they were attacked. It was a lose-lose for the most part, because it was part of their agreement, but they also technically they tried to like frame them as them facilitating the summoning, and it was
but for what purpose? I'll help you out here. Yeah, they were trying to facilitate I guess the myth that the Domans summoned this primal.
Yeah, and then on top of that, the hostility towards the actual Garlean, like it, no matter, and they also wanted. He also wanted to get rid of. I think Xenos wanted to get rid of Yahtzee in particular. Like he wanted her. He knew she was going to be a sacrificial lamb, no matter what. Like the plan had her as losing her life, pretty much, no matter what happened here. Xenos even says, no, she'll lose. She'll be too weak. She'll lose. And it was specifically.
You're right about that. He was like, yeah, it's not going to be a particularly powerful primal. The Warrior of Light's going to like absolutely decimate it. It wasn't supposed to like defeat us or really.
I thought it was just to I guess give them reason to attempt to reoccupy, because there was discussions about it back, because the Popularis and the I always forget the name of the other one.
The Optimates.
I always forget that every time. They have their own disagreements going on back home, and with a primal summoning, and with, you know, sort of like this urgency to respond to it in a sense. They could gain sufficient backing to send troops back to reoccupy Domo, wasn't it?
So what's the problem with the Populares then?
Can you remember which ones? The Populares are the ones that we're siding with, right?
Yeah.
Okay. They believe that we don't need to conquer people to you know, we don't need to subjugate them in order to make peace with them. Whereas the Optimates do believe we need to subjugate them, and we need to put everyone down, and everyone needs to be under our boot, kind of thing. So obviously he tried to show the Popularis way, didn't work. So now the Optimates way they want that to be seen as kind of like reinforced.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for. So the main reason really seems to be the Populares have got this policy of pacifism, which is obviously counter to what Elidibus ultimately wants, which is chaos, which is, you know, the Optimates being able to demonstrate that the Domans are dangerous and that they, you know, can't have peace with them. So that's a point.
Yay!
You got there in circles.
Now I'm happy I took the second question.
All right, Sly. We're going to head over to Ivelisse for a couple of questions.
Oh, shit.
In here.
What the fuck?
If that suits you. No, you fuck off.
No, not.
No, you fuck off.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. No, we're starting pretty easy here. Okay. So which Imperial Legion conquered Dalmasca's Nalbina fortress, and who was its legatus? You got two halves to this.
I know the second half.
The first half is a misnomer, I think, because I want to say it was the 12th Legion, but I don't think it was the 12th Legion.
I don't think it was either. That would be my first guess too.
Yeah.
So I can give you a half a point for getting the Legion right, and I can give you a half a point for getting the name of the legatus right.
The legatus.
Mm-hmm.
See, I think I know.
So again, the precise question here is which legion conquered Dalmasca's Nalbina fortress? So the Nalbina fortress, basically, Prince Razla and Princess Ashelia were both presumably killed, and as a result, the Dalmascan king conceded, and that was how Dalmasca was conquered. So it was the decisive siege. Come on.
I'm gonna give a guess. I'm gonna give a guess as to the Legion.
Mhm.
The other half I can't tell you. It's not 12. Was it the 6th Legion?
Is that your guess?
That's my guess.
Okay. If it was the 6th Legion, you should be able to work out the legatus from that, right? Like, who's the legatus of the 6th Legion? You know, it doesn't matter.
Wasn't
because
it? Wait.
Because you're wrong.
I'm wrong.
It's not.
Wow!
Thanks.
Way to cut the
Thanks.
suspense.
No, sorry.
So it's not the 6th. At least let him guess the legatus, even if he's not gonna guess what's his
All right,
face.
fine. You can guess the legatus, but it's not the 6th Legion, no.
If I miss the Legion, I'm not gonna get the legatus, so I'm gonna go ahead and pass.
All right.
Okay.
So just as I'm gonna do a quick reminder, the 7th was under Nail Van Darnus.
Mhm.
The 14th was under Gaius. The 6th was under Regula.
Mhm.
The 12th is under Xenos.
Mhm.
So, see, I'm the legatus is Gabronth, if I recall correctly. Okay.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, because the 12th would have been the guess.
So it's Noah van Gabranth.
Yeah, Noah van Gabranth. I remember that much, specifically the scene where what's his face picks up the stone and he sees Gabranth. That's the reminder.
Mhm.
But for which, I mean, it's literally a wild guess. I just guessed the 9th. It's a wild guess. I don't know.
It's the 4th.
It's the 4th,
but that's a half point.
All right.
Yeah, it's the 4th Imperial Legion. Noah van Gabranth. There was a 6-month siege, which saw the deaths of 70,000 Dalmascans before they took the fortress. So it's a little different from Gaius's style of conquest, which is interesting. Okay.
Gaius.
So, Mike, this is yours.
Okay.
What is the Barheim incident?
Fuck. Barheim incident. Okay, so I don't think this is the Barheim incident, but it's the only thing that comes to mind, and I'm just gonna throw it out there because I don't think me thinking on it's gonna get me anywhere. Is the Barheim incident when what's his face? For some reason his name is Bagamnon. Bagamnon, that's the one I'm thinking of. Is that the one where Bagamnon escaped through the passage after Ashelia told him to escape or something like that? That's like the only event that comes to mind.
Is that your guess?
That's my guess. All right.
No, it's not that. Sly, what do you think? The Barheim incident.
I just remembered. Okay, it's too.
I'll let you have another
No. Just
all right.
Don't have time for that.
Sly?
I think I know which Legion this deals with.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't it deal with the 14th Legion?
Okay, can you elaborate on that?
It was like a quelling. It was a quelling of a rebellion it was in Dalmasca.
Okay.
I'm trying to go further, but I can't.
You know what? I think you've got most of it. I think I can give you a point for that. So basically, there was a Dalmascan insurrection at Barheim. There was a rebellion. The 14th Legion was dispatched under the command of Livia Sass Junius. And she basically just like rounded up and slaughtered every suspected rebel.
Yeah.
And she sort of earned her notoriety for being, a piece of shit.
I remembered what it was because I remembered that he doesn't just see Gabronth when he starts losing his mind. He sees Livia.
You see Livia as well.
I just remembered that. And I was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
because he gets out of there, but Gamnon does get out. He doesn't get killed at the Barheim. He's one of the ones that actually gets away. So yeah, that's all I remembered was that Gamnon escaped the fate of Barheim. That's the only thing I could remember.
All right. Well, like I said, it's a point of a slide because you got basically all the ingredients except for Livia out of that. All right, Slyh. Oh, this is a bit of a tough one, actually. I'm sorry.
Oh, fuck.
Can't be all easy.
Okay. All right. How good are you with your sort of Charlatan etherochemistry kind of bullshit? All right, what is the difference between an Auracite and an ordinary ether crystal?
This one's actually not that bad.
Okay.
But fuck.
All right, well, if it's not that bad.
Shut up. I'm trying to think.
I think I know it.
An ether crystal, like.
Just to be clear, do you mean like a fire crystal, water, like those?
Yeah.
Okay, just making not like
So
the not the telepoints, not like the telepoints.
No.
Okay, just making.
No,
sure.
I'm not an etherite.
Yeah.
Auracite.
Well, let's start by defining an ether crystal, right? What is an ether crystal? What does it do?
I was gonna start with the Auracite to make it easier. God damn it.
Do whatever you want, Slyh. Do whatever you want.
Doesn't Auracite contain primals or primals power, so to speak?
Not quite.
See, I'm not.
It's not like a primal Pokeball like we were sort of theorizing it might have been at one point.
But Hadhayash.
Yeah, I can't.
All right.
No?
Yeah,
I'll give it a shot.
All right. Okay.
All right.
This is going to be a very, I guess, rudimentary way of describing it.
That's fine.
Ether crystals are stored energy that can be released. Auracites absorb energy or absorb ether. That's the closest. That's the best way I can think to word it.
Okay.
One is about sucking in the energy. The other one is already contained energy that's being expelled.
Release.
Okay.
Released.
I guess to help you elaborate on that, maybe, what would the difference between an Auracite and like any other ethereal battery be then?
So Auracite, not white, because the Auracite because we use white Auracite with what's his face back in 2.5. Like we used it to contain his energy and then kill him. But there's also the tool that's currently holding the man, words just escape me as soon as we get to Eorzivia. I can do them all the time until we get to Eorzivia.
The Lucavi, that's what we're talking about.
That's the Lucavi.
That's the Auracite that we're talking about.
So what's the difference? You were saying what's the difference between Auracite and what was
and say another ethereal battery like the Tupsamati or like the Eyes of a Dragon, or what's the difference between that kind of thing and an Auracite?
Well, isn't an Auracite a prison technically? A prison for the energy? It's less of something that just contains the energy, and it's more of a prison.
No, not really.
Well, then, I mean, that's my answer. I can't just keep guessing.
Okay. I'll give you a half point because you're right. Like the main difference is while ordinary ether crystals like emit elemental ether, Auracites, their main purpose seems to be to draw it in. So the difference between them and a lot of other things. So crystals and other ethereal batteries, they contain material energy. So elements like actual physical energy. Whereas the way Aurosites explain is that it absorbs immaterial ether. So ether that composes thoughts, memories, desires, stuff like that. That kind of ether, which normal crystals can't really handle. It absorbs them, and it also magnifies them.
Yeah.
Like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times over. So it's this sort of incredibly efficient battery in the same way as that it'll basically your desires, your will, whatever it is, will be imprinted upon the Aurosite, and then the Aurosite will sort of basically charge that power.
And that's how we get Yasmat.
Yeah. So that's how you get the Lucavi. The Lucavi is basically like a primal form of that desire, of that will that is implanted upon the Aurosite. But the Aurosite also acts as its own energy source. So you don't need a whole bunch of like ether crystals because of the way it sort of keeps feeding upon the person's desires.
Okay. I'll take half then.
Yeah, all right, I'll give you half.
You said you were giving me half. Otherwise, I wouldn't have said it.
Yeah,
No,
you
I'll
already
give you
said
half.
it. Yeah.
No, you're right. Yeah, so the way I've written it here, Aurosite absorbs and magnifies immaterial ether-like thoughts, memories, and desires over time before giving them manifest form without the need of a supplementary energy source. That's what I have in my notes. So take from that what you will. All right. I think this is Mike's question again.
Yay.
What significance do contemporary legends attribute to the Ridorana Cataract? So first of all, what is the Ridorana Cataract?
Now, the cataracts is not just the lighthouse. The cataracts is that huge gap, and well, it's the entire kind of like water system out there. But the huge gap in the ocean, pretty much.
The big hole.
Big hole
that's
in
the
ground.
cataract.
Yeah. And so, I feel like you were gonna go someplace after I answered that, because you asked the question and then you asked me what are the Ridorana cataracts. You want me to explain why they exist or why it's implied?
The question is basically what do contemporary legends think it is? The question is what significance do contemporary legends attribute to the Ridorana Cataract? So there's something that people believe that the Ridorana Cataract is or represents or is about, or there's some legend that sort of surrounds it.
It's like a portal of hell, isn't it?
Okay.
I mean, that's a very simple way of putting it.
We got a lot of different hells.
Specifically, I mean, I remember the underworld being specifically what was referenced here. It wasn't to the void. At least I don't remember it being to the void. I remember hell, like they used that sort of like as a synonym for it, pretty much. They had somebody was, I forget who it was. Someone was simplifying what the explanation was. I think it was that NPC that like overtalks, and somebody just said in response to that it was like, so it's basically a gate to hell or something like that. Draws it. It wasn't the void, was it? Damn. I don't remember. I just remember them calling it a portal to hell. That's like, or a gate to hell, pretty much. And I remember thinking that was weird because of Hell's Lid. So I was like, no, we have that. All right.
Okay.
So, Underworld is all I got. Like, that's Hell. Underworld is all I got.
I can give you a half point for that. It's a portal to a hell. There's 7 hells and 7 heavens.
Oh, that's right. Dante's Inferno, right? That comes
for each elements.
So I don't know which element it is. Yeah.
Well, it's the portal of the hell of water.
Yeah, water.
Naturally. That's basically what they believe. It's a portal of the hell of water. So basically the Ewer pours this river which forms the heaven of water, and then basically it cascades over this waterfall and falls into the hell of water where it stagnates. And that's where basically bad people drown, specifically deceivers, counterfeiters, mountebanks, and false prophets belong in the hell of water. So there you go. So that's a half point, and that's what, again, contemporary peoples of Heidelin tend to believe the Ridorana cataract is.
Why do I feel like Sly's gonna get asked what it actually is?
What's up, Sly? You
He's working it out.
I was counting points.
You're counting points. Okay.
Yeah.
What's your count so far?
I got Mike at 3.5 and me at 0.5.
No, you got a full point earlier.
No, you got a full point. You're at 1 and Mike's at 3.
Oh, I had him at 3.5. Never mind.
I think I've got 4 half points.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Sly, this one's for you. Okay. What was the function of Ridorana before it became a lighthouse for the Dalmascan Navy?
The function of Ridorana before it came up.
So when the Dalmascans discovered the cataract, they basically occupied whatever it was there, and basically made it into a lighthouse to sort of keep people from sailing into the cataract.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, but like before it became a lighthouse.
Before it was that, yeah. Before the Dalmascans discovered.
Oh, okay. Sly, can I give you a hint?
Sure.
What's the name of the coin we get from clearing it?
You asked me this shit, and how long have I done it? Oh,
I only have like 2 of those coins too, but that's
oh, come on. God. Unbelievable.
Oh, fuck me. Because I don't like, the only thing I knew about it was that it was to keep people away from like sailing into the cataract.
Yeah, that's what the Dalmascan Navy was doing there. But the structure where the lighthouse is was there long before.
Such a short word, and I can't remember it.
I don't remember the purpose. I think it like people thought it was just like one of the wonders of the world or something, but that's all I can come up with.
I don't think I can give you that.
I remember the name of the coin.
Okay,
so it's a Gaug coin.
Yeah,
it was believed to, I don't think this is exactly right, because it is an ancient Gaug structure. I'm trying to remember what the function is. If it was like their city, because I think, if I recall correctly, and I hope there's not a question, that it's believed that the Gaug are the ones that ended up creating the cataracts because of what the function of the lighthouse was before the Dalmascans found it, if I'm remembering the story correctly. So I'm trying to remember if it was a Gaug like weapons facility or like a research facility. It's one of those. I'm gonna just go with like a Gaug research or weapon facility of some kind.
Okay, I'm gonna give you another half point, because it was Gaug. It was the whole thing. It was the whole city.
It was the whole city. Okay, yeah. See, I just couldn't remember the function.
It was their entire civilization. It was built upon like a pretty small island, so they just built like straight up.
Like, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So it's called the Clockwork City of Gaug. All right, and that leads into, which you were sort of chasing around there, what is the prevailing theory for the cause of the Ridorana cataract?
I don't remember like what it is verbatim. Like I said, they caused it. They're the ones. The Gaugs are the ones who cause it. I'm just trying to remember, because I'm trying to remember how closely it follows Final Fantasy XII story. Because in Final Fantasy XII, the Ridorana lighthouse is where they keep the sun. They kept the Suncrest, which was a giant piece of natural nethicite, which is a giant, I guess in our equivalent, like an ethereal battery that gave off immense power that could be like utilized by people, utilized by technology. And I'm trying to remember if it was specifically Auracite or something along the or Auracite or Magicite or one of those that they were experimenting with, and they just blew the whole fucking ocean open, pretty much. At least something like that. Like I don't have the words for it. Like I know like the general gist of it, but I can't give you like specifics, unfortunately.
So they were like manufacturing Auracite there. That seems to be, again, the Charlene theory. We don't know exactly what happens. We just know from ancient texts that there was an explosion. That basically blew out the seabeds, and they were forced to evacuate and abandon the city, and it basically ended their civilization. We don't know whether they were responsible for it.
The Ascians, you know.
I mean, it's some Ascian bullshit.
Probably. It's anything that does damage like that, I have to assume is Ascian bullshit generally.
Yeah. But basically there was an explosion that caused the seabed to basically be irreparably damaged, and that sort of crater sort of grew over time until it became
due to erosion and stuff like natural elements. Yeah,
exactly. Okay, so that's a half point, I think. Yeah. All right, Mike. No, this is
it's Slyh.
Yeah, this is Slyh's. What does Ramza believe to have been the ultimate fate of the people of Galg? What does he think basically happens after they abandon the city? Where did they end up ultimately?
God, can we get away from Evilise?
So, of all the I agree with Slyh. Like, I'm really grasping at straws with Evilise because it's the thing I've probably done the least.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a long fucking time since I've done Evilise and seen the cutscenes. This is why I hate, pushing back.
Don't worry. Like I said, we're doing the 4.4 one like 2 or 3 weeks after 4.4. We're not waiting on Eureka again. It's not happening.
Please.
We're not waiting on. We're not waiting on Heaven on High. We're not waiting on Eureka. We're not waiting on anything.
Okay. The question is, what does Ramza believe to have been the ultimate fate of the people of Galg?
The ultimate fate. Like what led to their demise?
What happened to them? Like where did they end up? Demise or otherwise?
It'd be so simple to say that they drowned, but that's not the case because they built up. My shot in the dark guess is that they somehow, some way, just vanished. That's
like the Dwemer, they just vanished.
Yeah.
Is that your guess?
Yeah, Mike, what is it?
I don't know for certain.
That's not what Ramza believes.
I'm pretty sure he, because the whole point of discovering the origins of Evilise is that it's digging back very far into the history of the Garleans. Because of the technology, I don't remember if he thinks they eventually went on to found Garlemald, or if they founded a different. I know he believes they founded or became or are the descendants of what would eventually become another nation, pretty much, that exists in the current day. I don't remember which one he specifically says. My best guess, because we're digging into Garlean history here, is that they eventually went on to become the Garleans. The technology and their fascination with technology and their sort of destructive use of technology leads that to be my guess.
Okay.
So I would go with that. I do have another guess, but that'll just make that my guess.
No, that's good. So basically, Ramza makes the point that Evilise is a sort of central and super important myth in, I guess, in Garlean culture, despite the fact that it's geographically basically the other side of the world. Like it's so far away from Northern Eorzivia. He cites that fact, and basically he cites the fact that even before the Garlane started to discover Allagan relics, they already had all of this basically before they developed Magitech, they had all of this clockwork stuff. And basically the theory is that the people that survived from Garg were the ancestors, sorry, the progenitors, I should say, of the Garlands. And as we know, the Garland myth was basically that they used to live further south, and that they got forced further and further and further north by other nations
until they were in this near uninhabitable land.
Yeah, exactly. Where they just happened to discover ceruleum.
Yeah.
So he thinks basically that the people of Garg became the people of Garlemald. Yeah, which is apparently a bit of a controversial theory, but it seems like a pretty good one at the same time.
So like the Gaug were more technologically advanced. Let's hope that the Garlanes never learn how to blow a hole in the fucking ocean.
Well, I don't think it's that the Gaug were more technologically advanced. It's just that they were using a more dangerous resource. Ceruleum. I mean, ceruleum's pretty fucking dangerous, but it's not that. Mm-hmm.
It just kind of corrodes the land.
Yeah,
it's more like a toxic waste than it is an explosive anything else.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
So it's a point.
Right. That's a point.
All right,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's a point. Yeah, sure, that's a point.
I'm doing good today. I'm feeling
You're doing really good. Did you do your homework?
No.
I don't think either of you did your homework.
I absolutely did no homework. The things I knew coming into this week were the dumb things that I expected to get. Like I told them, I was like, I know the description of the Tartar minion from Bogos. I know that. You're not taking that as a serious canon, are you?
I mean, no, it totally is. Like we've had the same with the Mithra,
and the Mikote one.
Yeah, and the Mikote, that like the Mikote evolved from the Mithra, and it's fine that the same's true. That just don't start pulling the Ragnarok is in Eor's history.
I'm more curious why why all of these wind up Final Fantasy XI races are in a Charlayan island. Unless they had lots of contact with the New World, and these races are from there.
No, please. No. I mean, I kind of thought of it as like a museum will have models of dinosaurs and like Neanderthals and stuff like that.
All right, so Tartars are Neanderthals.
Yeah, well, I mean, Tartars, would kind of be like the Lalafell Neanderthals, right?
Yeah,
that's the implication.
With a fancy cloak,
pretty much, yeah. But there you go. All right, who's
It's mine.
Mike.
This is yours.
I stole that one from him. Yeah,
you did. You've stolen most of them. Okay, we're moving away from Ivalice now. I promise.
Thank God.
For now.
You should have done your fucking homework, dude. You knew of course there were going to be Ivalice questions. 4.3. It's like most.
It's a really long time ago. I don't blame.
Yeah, but
Pago sucks, and Monster Hunter's still doing stuff.
For fuck's sake. All right. Okay.
I just remember better. I don't drink as much, so I remember better. Actually, that's not true. When you drink a lot, you tend to remember everything from every other time you drink. That's my experience with it.
Yeah, and I'm fucking drinking more.
Not even remotely.
Yeah.
I don't think that's how that works. But all right. Okay.
That works with pot.
I don't think it's true for that either. I mean, not that I would know. What is the function of a Tamate Bako of geomancy?
Oh, the Tamate Bako is the Oh shit, is that the bell or is that the scroll? I don't remember. Shit.
I don't know.
I don't remember if that's the name of the bell or if that's the name of the
I'll ask the question
talisman. The
again.
talisman.
What is the function of a Tamate Bako of geomancy?
Well, my answer changes because my answer is a guess no matter what. But this we see a lot of this in Swallow's Compass because geomancy is very prevalent there. Oh wait, don't we go in there to get the thing?
Don't help him, Slyh.
I helped him earlier.
Don't help him. Don't help him.
I helped him earlier with the Gao coin. I just couldn't remember the name of it, so I didn't tell him the name of the coin. Why the fuck? I can't remember why. Like, what the function of it? Oh wait, that's the box. That's the box that makes you grow old when you breathe it in, isn't it? The stuff inside. That's what they use to take Saruman and try to age him to a point where he's an auspice, and then he ends up becoming getting
there.
Yeah.
Is.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. So basically, the function of it can age an exposed party 1,000 years in an instant and have them immediately become an auspice.
Yeah,
but only temporarily.
Yeah, only temporarily.
I
just had to work out Swallow's Compass on everything that's in there, and I just had to land on it eventually.
That's the point. So what I thought was really interesting here is that Saruman can become an auspice. Right.
Yeah.
Because we have this, I guess, this established ontology of auspices being that they're animals that live for 1,000 years. And despite the fact that the Khuja have animalistic qualities, they're spoken races. Like we categorize them as being the same kind of creatures as, Elezen and Hurs. So is this a case of there being some sort of missing link? Like the beast races are actually like somewhere between the spoken races and animals, or is it just a case of the spoken races being no different from animals? And if the spoken races were to live for 1,000 years, they'd become auspices.
I was always I'm very much of the belief that a lot of the beast tribes didn't exist naturally. And that a lot of them are kind of the same as the Ixal. We just haven't kind of discovered it yet. And so if they're chimeric, then they were probably spoken combined with animals, and thus they've. And I think it so happens turtles live long lives. So because they're turtle type spoken, I think they kind of are I think they're probably one of the only beast tribes that can actually live that long. Just naturally.
without dying.
Without dying.
Yeah.
So that's my theory.
I agree with you that I suspect the most, if not all, of the beast tribes are not.
They're not Heidelin's creations. They're chimeric, like you said. Yeah.
But at the same time, we have very, very good evidence that neither are Lullafels. And the only, I think the only race that we know 100% for certain was not created by Allig are the Elezen, because Emperor Zande is an Elezen. He has the pointed ears, and we know that his resurrection is from the first emperor, which is long, long before they knew how to do any etherochemistry or genetic engineering or anything like that. So the only race that we 100% know for certain is not like that are the Elezen. So could anything except for an Elezen become an auspice? Could anything become an auspice? I don't know.
Let's ask Koji at FanFest.
Let's do that. I like that. That's good. That's a good idea. All right. So that's another point for Mike.
Made these easy.
I mean, I didn't think I made them super hard. I didn't make them super easy, but I didn't make them super hard. Okay. Slyh. No Ivalice, I promise. Heaven on high. Who or what is the Oni Shishu?
This I actually do know. The Oni Shishu are not a collective, but they are a collective of craftsmen. They're a collective of craftsmen, and they keep their skills secret. They were also They didn't build. No, they did build H. They did build Heaven on High. I'm not gonna say anymore because is that too broad? Because if I say anymore, it might lead to a question that you probably have. That
I think we'll let him worry about that.
No, let me worry about that. So the question is, who are the Onishishu? You say they built Heaven on High.
They built Heaven on High. They're a collective of craftsmen.
Craftsmen?
Craftsmen. Skilled craftsmen.
Okay.
There's a pretty core detail I think you're missing here.
Guard Heaven on High. What the fuck am I missing?
Well, I can't tell you what you're missing. I will tell you that you've got enough for half a point.
Can I go for the other half if he doesn't guess it?
You're not sure. Yeah, you can go for the other half.
Slyh, are you done? Or do you want to try?
I can't work it out. Like, that's the most I know about the Onishishu.
So
get the other half.
I feel like the other half aren't they descendants of Alligans? Aren't they? They're Alligans, basically, or descendants of them, the ones that we have now. Then, because
we're all descendants of.
But I mean, you know what I mean? Like they broke off from the main, the main, guess I'll use his word, collective, the main collective of Alligans, and they created, and then because the problem is, I know that they broke off for a specific function. Trying to remember what, and not just to guard Heaven on High.
Okay.
Because Heaven on High is used as like a training.
I'm going to give you the half point because, the main function of the Onishishu is that they basically safekeep the knowledge of Allig and try to use it to benefit modern society. So they are the ones that build and maintain all of the Aetherites in the Far East. So all of the Aetherites in the West are built by the Sharlans. All the ones basically everywhere else are built by the Onishishu. So the Onishishu are the weeb Sharlans, basically.
Fucking weeb. All right, yeah, sure, we'll go with that.
So that leads into the next question.
Mine.
Which is from Mike. How and by whom were they founded?
Oh, see, well, by whom? See, the guy who becomes the boss on the 30th floor. I don't remember if he founded them. I just know that he was the last one to. Well, no, it wasn't the last one to do that because everyone who's like a leader of the Onishishu has to prove themselves by completing the 30th floor of Heaven on High. So they all have to climb. He specifically, I'm just trying to remember his name because it's been a while. I haven't gone into Heaven on High since like a week and a half after it came out. And I always just call him the Titan clone every time I go in there. So I can't remember everything.
Yeah, I call him John Raramy because he looks like
John.
Because Titan.
He looks like Ron Jeremy, but his names are backwards.
Well, Titan. Well, I call Titan Ron Jeremy, so I call him John Raramy.
I never thought I'd say this. Ethys, you're stupid. That's my level of joke, and I'm calling you stupid. You understand that? Like, that's something I would expect out of me. I expect better from you.
You're just fucking jealous that you didn't think of that.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't help. We always called Colby, who used to work on the community team. We used to call him Ron Jeremy. So,
oh no.
So that's why it's in my
head. Oh no.
Because I mean, I can remember bits of details, just can't remember the guy's name. So if that's ultimately what I need, then
okay. So the question is how and by whom were they founded? So you're struggling with the by whom. Yeah. Maybe work with the how a little bit more.
See, I remember the how, like how Heaven on High specifically came to be the way it is. I don't remember because this is the cutscene at the tree that explains this. Well, technically, no. The NPC explained it. Then you go to the tree and it answers the who. Who is answered by the tree and the how is answered by the guy before you go to the tree.
Yes.
Yeah. So I remember where the information is. I can't piece together what it is because the only answer I have, I don't think, is an answer to the question because how is when he, I don't, unless you mean how is like how he becomes the boss on the 30th floor, how, he makes that sacrifice. So the generations. No. Yeah. Okay. Then I don't have
founding of the Onishishu.
Okay. The founding of the Onishishu. I don't remember.
Okay. I'm going to give Slyh a go.
Okay.
The founding of the Onishishu.
Yeah. It's something that precipitated it, something that inspired it, something that necessitated it, and someone that basically got the ball rolling, or some few named people that we have.
Because I'm trying to remember, like, I don't even think we got the name of the.
No, we did. I very much remember getting the name.
We did not get the name of the old man.
No, not the old man, but we get the.
But we do have the name of the founders.
Yeah. Well, no, we do know the name of the old man. He's the boss on the 30th. That's
Hiriko.
But that's not his, like.
Yeah, you don't know that.
That's not his given name. Yeah,
I believe it.
It's not his people name.
How the Onishishu was found. I don't think the first thing they did was build Heaven on High.
They may or may not have been.
May or may not have.
We don't really know what the first thing they did. We just know what other things they did.
I'm gonna take a guess after your guesses.
They're not linked to the Confederacy.
Well, they are linked to the Confederacy.
They are now.
Now. I'm just saying back then, I don't think the Confederacy even existed. No, so.
Well, the Confederacy now exists because of the Onishishu.
Right. For the purpose of Heaven on High, but I know that's not it. That's the only thing I've got going right now. Yeah.
So if that's what you're going with, then I want to. Wasn't it just because of, I don't want to point even if this is good. I have a guess.
Okay.
I want to get out.
All right.
Didn't it have something to do with? I think it all stems back to Xande and his and Amon and their use of Allagan technology, something along those lines, and that they. They basically were using it for one thing. They wanted to use it for another, but I just don't remember how that got rolling. Pretty much.
Okay. It does sort of, I guess, relate to Xande. So after Amon resurrected Xande and Xande went on his crusade against Mericidia, it started to become obvious to, I guess, the citizens of Allag more broadly that this resurrected Xande was just batshit insane and that it wasn't going to end well. Princess Selena, who was basically one of the original Xande's descendants and of the royal house of Allag, basically anticipated, predicted, foresaw calamity as a result of Xande. And so she founded this secret society. It was basically the Circle of Knowing. It was basically the scions of that era, which were the Onishishu. And they built Heaven on High. The reason we're given is that it was to help like prepare and train people to deal with this calamity. So it might have been a base for the various rebellions that were made against Xande. But it seems as we get into the higher floors that it was also supposed to be a kind of vault for all the Allagan stuff that she assumed was going to be lost as a result of this calamity. And that's basically the purpose of Old Mate giving his life to kind of, guard that stuff.
I like Old Mate being his canon name now.
Yeah. So we're given, he name drops Princess Selena and also Desh, who was Selena's lover in Final Fantasy III, I believe.
That is correct.
And basically in Final Fantasy III performed the same sort of function as Une and Dogr, in that he was like asleep for 1,000 years and then woke up to sort of, help defeat Xande and all that crap. I don't know Final Fantasy III very well. Yeah. Yeah, so I hear. So the other thing we know Princess Selena did is that she gave her blood, she basically transfused her blood into one of her mates from the G tribe Sunseeker Mikote, so that basically she knew that the Crystal Tower was going to be buried and was going to be sort of unresolved, and there was going to be, you know, ancient horrors in there that we're going to have to deal with at some point, and that only the Allagan royal blood could unseal it. So that's why we end up getting Grahatia during the Crystal Tower questline, able to get in there. Yeah. So that brought a link back to Princess Selena, and I guess sort of cements Selena as being like the Princess Leia basically of Alleg, which I think is pretty cool.
All right, if you want to go with that comparison, I will not.
I mean, that's, you know, it's reasonable.
I didn't expect to get stuff about Grahatia again, although we always wondered what the hell is going on. Like, why is a Mikote a descendant or has this unique ability?
Well, it's because she was basically trying to hide her blood.
Yeah.
Because the expectation and what may or may not have happened is, you know, Xande and his forces, you know, making sure that the royal line was wiped out except for him, right?
One day we'll open those doors again and Grahatia will just be chilling.
You think so?
Nope.
You think we will go back in there? I don't think so.
Nope. Nope.
Nah, I don't think so. All right, so that's 0 points. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. You did your best, Ethys.
Thanks.
You apologized.
Thank you. I guess. All right, look, we've only got 2 questions left.
Yeah.
Oh, don't get too excited. Jeez. No, that's a lie. We got 3 questions left. I lied. I'm a liar.
Liar.
I'm a filthy liar. I'm so sorry, you guys.
It's okay. You did your best.
Yeah.
Now it makes sense.
All right, Mike, this is yours.
Okay.
How did Eorzivia first meet Xenos, and for what purpose was that meeting arranged?
Tales of the Stormblood question, huh? You could just say yes.
Yeah.
I didn't expect a Tales from the Stormblood question for some reason.
I mean, yeah.
Well, she was a spy. First of all, she was already a spy for one of the Imperials at that point. So this is long after that. She had done her whoring days were behind her at this point. She was there. I can
assure you her whoring days were not behind her.
The majority of them.
I mean, she has had a lot of whoring days, so you're probably right.
There you go. It's a lot of whoring days. So she was there as a spy for another Imperial. Which one I couldn't tell you. And I'm trying to remember what exactly it is, because she was trying to get him drunk, which didn't work. and then she was trying to get him to say something or reveal like a weakness or find like I just undid it and redid it and it's fine.
What?
Sorry guys.
All right.
Let me know in Twitter, because I can't look at chat. So let me know
No, it's back. We're fine. We're fine.
All right. So chat, thanks for letting us know. Type in chat to refresh if you're watching. Twitch just kicked us off. I don't know why. I pressed stop streaming, start streaming, and it was fine. So it wasn't my internet. It was just Twitch bugged out. So I don't know if Twitch is a tweet about it or anything like that. I'll keep an eye on it, but I don't see anything. Looking at Twitter real quick. So strange, but we're back. So I guess I don't know where we were with the questions, where we were with the answer when we disconnected. So
basically, what you were saying, what Mike was saying, was that Eorzivia was trying to extract some kind of information from Xenos, trying to get him drunk, and then there was an attempted assassination attempt against Xenos.
Yeah,
that Eorzivia was not expected to survive.
Or at least I remember that being kind of her reaction to it. They said like she wasn't. They had to kill everyone in that room. They couldn't just leave someone around for that. So she kind of just assumed.
Who was trying to kill him?
That's all I remember is it was somebody else in the Imperial Army. I just can't remember who. That's the one thing. I just can't remember the name. So
Sly, do you think you can put the rest of the pieces together?
God, I remember about as much as he just said. I just can't remember who it was specifically.
You guys got no excuse for this one. This one was like
no, this one's super recent. I remember Estinians really well, and I remember even better after the intro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I wasn't as interested in Yotsu as I was way more interested in Estinians.
Okay,
personally.
Right.
So I didn't commit it to memory as much. I don't commit names to memory. That's my problem. I commit the everything except who. Every time. Every question.
Who were the assassins? I remember the assassins didn't really like. I remember a line saying that they didn't say anything; they were silent.
Mm. So the question is ninjas. Basically for what purpose was Yotsu meeting Xenos? The identity of the assassins gives us a clue to that purpose if we don't explicitly remember that purpose.
I just remember that they're Garleans who have adopted the art of ninjutsu. Like they're ninjas, basically. Is how I remember.
They're pretending to be.
They're pretending to be. Oh, well then you just finished the answer. Yeah. So
no, I didn't finish the answer.
Well, he can finish it then. I think you finished the answer personally, but it's on him.
Pretending to be.
Okay, what Garleans would be trying to kill Xenos? And why would whoever Yotsu's masters are be trying to get her to meet with Xenos and get him drunk?
Garleans, I think the populars.
We're a bit before that time.
Just a bit before the populars. Ooh, somebody in succession? No.
See, that's where I ended up trying to go before, but I'm like, wait, that's nothing to do with it. It's Varys. Varys is the one who's...
Yeah, exactly. That's
what happened to
so
me.
We know that it was during the War of Succession that Cayenne instigated his full-scale rebellion, and then Varys came in and just absolutely decimated them and shut it down.
Yeah.
That was at the beginning of the Garlean War of Succession. So this is
before that.
A little bit before that, right?
I've got nothing.
Okay.
All I remember is the reason why they were just like ninjas is because they were trying to they were trying to make them look like domins.
They were trying to simulate domins. Yeah. So basically, what was happening? The Imperial Legatus of Doma at the time, the guy that was overseeing Cayenne, was a supporter of Titus. Titus Galvus, who was Solus's nephew, who was competing. Yeah, basically, Solus was on his deathbed. Varys was the preferred heir. Titus was contesting for it. The legatus of Doma was in Titus's camp, and basically Xenos was coming to Doma to sort of basically check out the situation with the various like small scale, Doman pockets of resistance and rebellion that were going on there. So the Titus camp basically sent Yotsu to try and discern some information regarding Varys's plans from Xenos. That's what she was told. And really what was happening, like Mike said, was that it was facilitating this assassination attempt by Titus that was made to look like the Domans, so that the Domans would get blamed and Titus wouldn't for the assassination of Xenos. So that failed. Xenos and Yotsu had their little moment, and as a result, when Xenos came back during the War of Succession and destroyed Cayenne's forces, Yotsu was his preferred candidate because she was a monster and he was a monster, and that's just how it went.
He's just into it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, he had no interest in like governing a province or having the empire prosper or anything like that.
He just wanted someone as cruel as him in power.
Well, yeah, he thought that her ruling over the Domans was going to facilitate, you know, their sort of suffering and, you know, maybe push them to the point where they might become like worthy game for him, really.
That didn't work. Well, I mean, it facilitated us, so I guess.
I mean, it did, didn't it?
Yeah, it facilitated us.
Yeah, exactly. All right, okay, Sly, here's one for you. You're gonna get this one. What's the name of Estinian's male?
Oh, you gotta get this. I will be very upset with you, Sly.
Estinian's new Dragoon male. He's AF3. Hraesvelgr gave it to him. It was blessed by Ratatoska. It was from the age before the Dragon Song War, where, you know, dragons and
Dragoons.
Yeah, were matey potatoes.
You always take lore explanations and then throw Australian words at them that aren't real.
That's real. It's a real word.
Matey potatoes.
I'm glad you like that one. So what did he name it? He named it. He got the male. It was new Azure Dragoon male for New World Azure Dragoon. And he named it.
And Hraesvelgr was like, nice.
Just imagine Hraesvelgr just being like, lol.
Lol, nice.
Come on, Sly. Come on. Come on, please.
If you don't get this one, I don't even need to answer the next one.
Sly, please. If you don't get this one, you're not coming to my birthday party.
Oh, you're having a birthday party? Is it the same time as Chenon's?
No, I couldn't afford having a birthday party every day. Okay. That's crazy. Come on, Sly, please.
He's doing it on purpose.
I think he is doing it on purpose.
No.
I think he's just stalling.
No.
God. You ever had that nightmare where like you've turned up for exam day and you've just done
you no forgot study? Your pants.
You're not wearing your pants. You don't have any pens with you. You didn't bring your glasses. You accidentally.
This is that nightmare.
Yeah, you accidentally took just like a bunch of NyQuil.
You know the problem is Sly is his own nickname for the male. That's the problem.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He'll remember it when I answer it.
Oh, okay. I'll give you 10 seconds, Sly.
Fuck it, 0.
Ice Heart!
Where the fuck was I supposed to pick this up?
It's in the Tales from the Storm
When did the Tale come out? When did the Tale come out?
Last Friday.
Last Friday. Less than a week ago.
Ice Heart.
You read it?
What's your nickname?
No, I didn't read that one. I read the
You read the Yahtzee one. The Estinian one was so good too. I love the Estinian one. The Estinian one, I adore the Estinian one.
The one I fucking skipped.
He's a dragoon.
Yeah, just the one thing you skipped.
Yeah.
Estinian. Ice Heart.
Oh God.
Because he's an arrogant guy, and the armor is named after a woman who saw an arrogant guy and all that shit. And then Hraesvelgr laughs.
Yeah, Hraesvelgr is literally like, lol, nice.
I get a point, so yeah.
Yeah. Of course you do.
Why do I bother?
We're
gonna finish with a Namazu question, Mike.
It's for me. I'm not just because it's a Namazu question doesn't mean I'm gonna get it. I actually am not confident I'll get a Namazu question right. I'm actually not confident. I was actually kind of hoping it'd be another Justinian question because I was so ready for it.
Jesus. All right. Super basic one here. From whose eyewitness account is the Namazu festival based?
Whose eyewitness account?
Yeah. So there's an account they found in some old text of a Namazu festival, which like kicks the whole thing off. And they're like, oh shit, we gotta do this thing.
The book we collect in the first quest, basically.
Might be. It might be. But it's a story. It's a story about some historical figure who like sees this Namazu festival and is like, "Lol, nice."
See, I'm not that confident about the Namazu about this because like I remember everything that happens. As soon as you ask me a who, I've thrown that information out. Pretty much. I always just remember the events and not the names behind everybody, unless it's people like Alpha No Alice and blah, blah, blah.
Well, I mean, there's only so many people that it could be.
I mean, yeah, but it's more people than I've committed to memory. Ultimately.
Okay.
So from whose account? I mean, no, because that's not true. The book just tells them. The book doesn't tell them about that. The book is about other stuff. Whose account? I'm trying to remember if it's the
book implies it.
Oh, okay, because I was about to guess
there's something about the book, something fundamentally about the book that implies a particular person witnessed this happening.
And Matoya gave them that book? I'm thinking, no, that's the other book.
The one Matoya.
It's a different book. Yeah, because I don't remember whose perspective.
All the other books and things that we're collecting were looking at like
festivals and like other cultures and how they
so they could like reproduce this festival because the details of this account
Namazu festival were sparse. Yeah,
were very vague.
Yeah. Damn, I'm trying to remember. It was. I don't even remember if it was a Namazu who wrote that. I don't remember.
I'm not asking who wrote it. I'm just asking from whose perspective who witnessed it.
But isn't that? Oh well, I guess. Well, I see. The only person who comes to mind is what's his name, the Enlightened.
Talking about Seigetsu,
yeah. He's the only person who comes to mind, and that's not. I don't think that's right. So, but that's my answer because I don't have a better one. Seigetsu, the Enlightened.
Well, these festivals happen every 777 years.
Yeah.
So it must have been at least 777 years ago.
Yeah, that's why I don't have an answer because I don't remember. He's the one who comes in like really like he's the one who nails everything home about like doing the festival and
he's the one that puts all the bits together. Yeah. So the
hey, Sly's got a turn. Oh wait, no, yeah, no, that was
Slyh.
mine.
Slyh does have a turn. Go on.
I like how Ethys was ready to just answer it. He's like, all right, well, this is what it is. I'm like, no.
I didn't realize Slyh would even come back to his chair. I thought he'd gone to bed.
See, I don't know why you flipped out over me getting a not. Just because I like the Namazu doesn't mean I remember names. I never remember names. Whose I can't ever get right. So Slyh, what's your guess? How does that translate to Namazu?
I don't know.
Oh, for audio listeners, he flipped me off.
He sure did.
So imagine.
I think he flipped us both off.
Yeah, who was that aimed at?
Was that aimed at us? The chat?
Mainly Ethys.
At Namazu's. Hey, you know what? Ethys feels the same way about Namazu's.
What did I do? I wasn't the one that didn't study. I was the only one that did any fucking work for this show.
Hey, listen, I'm doing pretty well, all things considered. All right.
You're doing well comparatively
to most weeks. I feel like you went easy on us this week.
So the first we hear about the Namazu festival is from the Epic of Ganon. Who is Ganon?
There's no way I would have remembered that. Is it an old Domin, an old Domin, not king, leader? I don't remember Ganon.
What?
Slyh, Ganon. Who's Ganon? Ganen.
N-A... Oh, Ganon.
Oh, wait a minute.
Ganon.
How did I get that wrong? Fucking Swallow's Compass.
Yeah, how the fuck did you get that wrong? That's
Swallow's Compass. Literally, that's his fucking tomb is over there. I don't know why when you spelled it, I remember. Because I kept thinking Ganondorf, and I just
Ganondorf,
my brain went stupid.
You guys, you fucking idiots, both of you.
Hey, I remembered.
Ganon was the first king of Doma.
Yeah, first king of Doma.
He united and formed the Doman Kingdom, and he was the founder of Geomancy. Tales were written about him, including the Epic of Ganon, during which he witnessed this first Namazu festival and was like, "Lol, nice."
This show's got to be renamed the Lol Nice.
Yeah. Which was.
Oh, by the way, was that the last question? Can I open chat again?
Yeah, you can open chat.
Okay,
again.
I was just making sure. All right. Okay, cool.
So we have the final score.
I don't care. He won.
I'm not
Christ.
I'm not gonna bother doing a.
I would love to hear a count.
No,
I was gonna say I'm not gonna bother trying to come up with some like tie-breaking question because it's not a tie.
It's not a tie.
I mean, it's
every question Mike got. Like some of the questions Mike got. Like
I'm sorry, but if you got Ice Heart wrong, you cannot complain about a single question I got.
Because I didn't fucking read it.
That's not my fault. I didn't read anything either, except for Tales from the Stormblood, and I forgot half of the Oxio.
It's not like we told you like an hour ago that we were going to be doing Eorzivia today. That's it, both of you. Neither of you did any fucking.
And I owned up to it.
You.
And I like to learn. All the time. I like to learn from you, Ethys.
We're gonna do this again next week. You both.
No, we're not.
If we do this again next week, I'll get every question right. You can't do
it till you get it right.
back in college, like my first or second week, they made us do like a little course about procrastinating, and they handed us a quiz that was face down, or a study sheet that was face down. They said, flip it, you have 60 seconds to study, and then we had to be quizzed on it. I got 100. So I can, if you tell me what's going to be on something, I will 100% remember it. So
it's not that he has to tell us. It's just that the fact that it keeps getting pushed back, and the day that we were,
I'll give you that. We're never pushing back, and like the next Eorzivia is in like 5 weeks, like 2 or 3 weeks after the patch.
Like some stuff was fresh then. Now it's just like, well, fuck.
Well, to be fair, the Ice Heart's pretty fresh.
Question, like literally the freshest question. See, if it's fresh, then the excuse is, oh, I haven't had time to do that yet. And if it's old, I don't fucking remember that was too long ago. Like, where's the like? I need to use.
There is no happy middle ground.
No, exactly.
I'm the happy middle ground. Literally.
Shut up, Mike. Fuck you. I'm so disappointed. All right, look, Mike got 8 points. Slyh got like -8, let's say.
0.3.
Yeah, 0.3.
All right.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Oh my God.
At least, hey, chat's defending you, Slyh. Look, Slyh spent too much time playing Yakuza 0 and watching hot bikini bitches with squirt guns and bathtubs to study for this.
You know what? I'll give you that. That does sound...
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yeah. You're not fucking wrong.
Yeah.
I will own up to that.
I'm just reading Twitch chat, right? And hunting monsters. There you go. Listen, I haven't studied it all either. And that's why I got the Pagos thing out of the way early. Because I knew if we got a Pagos question, I was fucked.
All those fucking...
I deliberately, I didn't give you Pagos questions because I was...
No, not the Pagos questions. I'm fine with that. Fuck that. All the freaking Evilise questions. Jesus Christ, how long
it was like most of Patch 4. You just had to go back and watch the fucking cutscenes. It was taking you 5 minutes.
All right, the cutscenes are longer than 5 minutes, Ethys.
10 minutes. I don't know. It was like most of.
They're pretty long cutscenes.
They're pretty lengthy.
Yeah,
it was
lengthy.
most
You
of the
skim
lore
through
content
any-
for this
you can't-
patch.
That's why I was
for
fine with it.
Was Ivalice stuff.
I thought your questions were easy and that we were
Thank
dumb.
Yeah, you are dumb.
That was my belief that's my belief generally with all Eorzivias is that they're here
Yes.
to make us look dumb, but yeah, you know.
You just
Yeah, it
make
was
me
like,
look fucking ignorant.
Those questions were not hard.
I will never the Ice Art thing, you have no excuse. I'm not letting you have that one. But all the other things, that's why we are never waiting this long to do. Don't care what the hell happens in the next Eureka. The next Eureka is part of the fucking 4.5 one as far as I'm concerned. And then we'll do one like at the end after part 2 or some shit. We're doing 3 Eorzivias for the rest of this fucking expansion. And then we need to have a lore book show later in the year as well.
Oh,
and then,
jeez.
yeah, so we got lore questions. I gotta say, hearing the quizzes back and remembering a lot of that stuff, this was a pretty lore intensive patch. All things considered, between Swallow's Compass and the Namazu and Heaven on High and stuff.
And Gaius.
Yeah. I was pretty happy with it. The lore book. All right.
I do have one more question that maybe I can leave you guys to sort of chew over.
Okay.
Something that someone's been nagging me about in my chat for weeks and weeks and weeks to ask you guys. Who would win in a ladder match between Slyh and Mike?
Oh, somebody asked me something similar. I wonder if they was the same person.
Same.
It was. I'm sure it was exactly the same person, but they wanted it to be resolved. So I'll leave.
I picked Slyh.
Chat with that one. You reckon Slyh beat you in a ladder match?
Yeah.
What do you reckon, Slyh?
I mean, when I was working in the office and had to go out the houses, I did use ladders on a day-to-day basis.
So you think you're pretty proficient with ladders?
Yeah.
The one I got asked is if you had to get in a fist fight with somebody, who would you rather rely on, Slyh or Ethys? And I picked Slyh.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then because I wouldn't want Ethys's skinny bitch arms in a fight, I'd rather have Slyh.
My skinny bitch arms. You know what they used to call me? They used to call me Triceratops on account of my massive veiny triceps. See you next week, everybody.
Nobody called you that, did they?
No.
Nobody called you that, did they?
They did. Yeah, they did.
Yeah, name 3 people who called you that.
Your
Mom.
mother?
God damn it! I didn't expect that, but I expected mom. There you go. Slyh, what was yours?
What?
Because you said you got asked the question that was like this.
It was the same question.
Oh, the island?
The ladder match question.
Well,
Oh, okay. You got the ladder match. I didn't get the ladder match question. I got the fist fight question.
Yeah.
Okay. T-Rexes were scavengers too. All right. So before we get going, real quick, let's cover some recent stuff or some upcoming stuff that's going to be happening. I'd say we do have a few minutes for that, assuming Ethys is in no rush for anything.
No.
First of all, we had our 2 patches in terms of Pagos buffs. Since then, Ethys, we haven't had you on the show since Pagos came around. So how are you feeling? How much progress have you made there? You said you weren't done with the 35 quest. But,
yeah, I'm not. When Animos first came out, I just no lifed it. Like, I got it done in like 48 hours. I just absolutely smashed it. Pagos, I haven't really like felt the need to. So I've just been logging in, doing my challenge logs, whatever NMs pop, I'm going and doing them. I have noticed that the NM experience has like tripled. And they're much, much easier to pop. It just seems like it's exactly the same as what Animos was at this point, where it's just a bunch of AFK pricks sitting around in town, leeching, waiting for the NMs to pop, and then going for them, which is, it's fine. It's fine. But I enjoy it. I love it. It's good content.
Is it?
About that?
Yeah, I really enjoy. I look, if this is what the whole game was, then no, I wouldn't be about that. But as side content, as something that you just, go to sort of, break the pace of everything else that's in the game, I really enjoy it. It facilitates hanging out on Discord with a bunch of mates and just shooting the shit, farming mobs. And there's not really many things in Final Fantasy XIV that facilitate that kind of experience, which some of us are nostalgic for. And I enjoy it.
Wow, you're really positive about this.
I'm positive about most things.
Sure. That's very true.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Mike doesn't agree.
No.
Well,
no,
you can sit on it.
I think they need to just go back to the drawing board with this one.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Fair enough.
It was actually Wolf who came in, and he came in chat one day, and I agree with him 100% on this one. Never have we seen content that brings out the worst. Because he even said, I generally, think of, the 14 community as, positive, tight knit. And you see the worst sides of humanity in Poggers. It is so fucking cutthroat. It is me, and they made it, and I feel like they made it even worse with the changes. Oh, I'm just gonna stay here and wait on NMs. Now that's really the best thing you can do, honestly. Fucking Hammer came in the other day and he was talking about, well, in terms of XP, you might want to wait until you get to the later levels because it scales. But a lot of people aren't at that level. So either one, you're gonna be a complete shitter and just do NMs. Two, you do the chain, which the chain is dead now.
No, officially. It's very alive, trust me.
But you do the chains, and you do challenge logs inadvertently doing chains, and miss out on the potential gain you would get from waiting to the later levels. So it's either damned if you do, damned if you don't. So
So what I'm seeing here is once again a discussion we've had a couple of times, the difference between the NA data centers and the JP data centers. Is
Culture.
That on Elemental, while the majority of people are waiting around in town, just AFK, and as soon as the NMs pop, everyone's begging for parties, and they go straight for it. It's not like that toxic. Like, people are still waiting for a good 5 minutes before they pull the NM. There are still people doing the chains and forming parties, and it's just it's like people being lazy, but none of this like bringing out the worst in the community. We're not seeing that on Elemental so much.
It's just because you speak English and the rest of Elemental doesn't.
No, people are not like really using shout chat. Like you can tell, even if you don't understand very much Japanese, you can tell when people are having fights in shout chat, and that's not happening.
Now, I'm not blaming the community. No. It's more.
Well, the community's got to take responsibility for it.
A little bit, but it's more.
The devs change content to pander to the community because the community takes the path of least resistance, and we're a bunch of lazy assholes.
True.
We have to take responsibility for that. We are responsible for the content that we get.
But this is the system they put in place, so it's more hate the game, not the player. Like you said, we adapted to it.
The player's demand produces the game.
True.
I just think that as a player base, we have to take responsibility for the content and the changes to the content to a degree, not necessarily 100%. It is a dialogue, but we get what we ask.
All right, my thoughts. Chaining is fine. NMs are fine. They were fine before. My problem is not that these things exist, it's the means through which they exist. These are your only options if you want a relic weapon. Neither of them are very good. It's just boring. compared to even the previous relics, which were super grind fests, but at least I could, if I wanted to go hard on myth flocks for my old Animus books, great, I could do that. If I want to just do my roulettes, take my myth and get it done in a few months, great. If I wanted light, I could go spam whatever dungeons and bonus right now, great. Or I could just do my roulettes, or, you know, if I needed, what's it called? I'm trying to remember the name of the stones you got from the treasure coffers doing the leave quests. For that step, you know what I'm talking about when people are going to do the treasure card.
Yeah.
If I wanted to do that during those items, great, I could go do that. If I want to, this is like, even if I do the NM train at 35, I have to grind. I have to chain mobs. That's it. I don't have another choice. Like just doing the NM, like it's all about how limiting it is compared to the rest of the game, as well as how limiting it is compared to previous relic sets. It's a lot of effort to make a new zone, to make a new lore. It's a whole shit ton of effort, and I appreciate certain things about it. I don't appreciate the content itself. So
you just think that for people that don't enjoy doing Eureka, don't enjoy doing Pagos, there should be other avenues through which they can acquire their relic weapon
within Pagos. Specifically, I want more things to do in Pagos.
More variety.
Yes.
Okay,
that's my thing.
Great.
We've spoken about that.
That'd be awesome.
That's my, and also fixed money fates. They're not good. They're just not. I will hammer this. That they just
fucking pointless.
The only reason I'm even leveling in Pagos now outside of challenge logs is because I can at least tolerate the NM train. And I can tolerate chaining once I'm already max level with a mount, full teleport access, because for some reason it goes from 21 to 30 instead of like 21 to 27 to 32. For whatever reason, I don't know why 30 and 32 is the level they ended up with for those areas up there. And I can tolerate it. I'll tolerate it. I'll get a weapon because I'm going to work on the next set, because I do everything. I do all the PvE content that the game offers at least once through. But I will not say it's fine. I will not say it's good. I will say it's tolerable now. And that's still not good.
All right. Reasonable.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Now with that, Sly, we teased a little something last week, and we're going to talk about it a little bit more for the next 5 minutes. The Rising.
What?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Hot topic.
It's a very hot topic.
Right?
So, The Rising...
let me... Go ahead, Mike.
No, what were you going to say? Go.
Like, this is my question to both of you. Mike, I know you played 1.0. Correct.
I did not do this. I did not do the thing that you're about to ask. I never did this. I never did the thing that involves the earrings. I never did the thing that this event involves.
Okay, never mind. Ethys, you?
No, I didn't, but I can speak to it. It's such a strange thing that they're offering the White Raven earrings. Everyone's being like, appalled by it and upset by it, but it's such a strangely specific thing that it tells me that the Rising event has got to have something to do with Nail Vandanis and the Ribbon Road.
Would you like me to tell you what the event will likely be?
Please.
So Sly and I last week, we mentioned that data mine information had been found, and we refused to mention it by name. The reward was among them, which we thought were going to be replicas, which, by the way, speaking on the White Raven thing again, there's, obviously, like you said, there's a bit of a stir up. I don't care, but I can't care because I didn't have them in the first place. I just think they should have named them replicas because I don't even want to have this conversation. That's literally it. I don't even want to have the conversation about exclusivity for items. I literally just think, name them replicas, make them look exactly the fucking same, and then I don't need to have this conversation, please. For the event itself, as it says, it's the Calamity Returns to Ul'dah. In 1.23c, when the servers were no longer saving data, they flooded the cities, specifically Ul'dah, with monsters. Multiples of Nail Deostarnis, giant chimeras, things like that. What was data mined was a 144-player instance that replicates that experience in our current game. And that is what the event is looking to be. It is a recreation of the events of 1.23c, the moments before Dalamud crashed into the game and gave us the trailer for 2.0.
Yeah, which is fucking awesome. We're going to have a little echo cutscene. We're going to go back to the Great Gubu Wall, and we're going to have to deal with all that shit in Ul'dah, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Third Eureka came early. The third Eureka Zone came early. Also, the Muffled Answers team will probably be playing there. We get the Revolutions, the Stormblood main theme. We'll get the orchestral roll for that. A wind-up Sirena, which hopefully is equally as hungry for catfish as I am. And then the Vanderbilt Earrings and the White Ravens. But yeah, it's something that we still don't know, I think, everything. I'm sure there's more data mine, but that's the general gist of what has been circulating as the data mine information, and it's pretty dope, I gotta admit.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's gonna be great. I'm excited.
Yep.
Especially because the Rising is always an event known for teasing the future. Now, it was 2 Risings ago at this point where we walked into Yoshi P's office, and he went. Actually, no, it might have been 3. Two ago was the bugs, wasn't it? Last year was Cheap Dungeon. I think the one before was the bugs.
Yeah,
and then the one before that, we walked into his office and he said, "Yeah, you want to know some jobs? Red Mage and Samurai. We could do those, I guess."
Son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch. So this is gonna be. If he's wearing anything blue, just be on the lookout. I'm really curious to see what they do to tease, because November is a fan fest. This is a Rising people are gonna pay attention to very, very closely.
So you're expecting a job tease?
I'm fully expecting a job tease. They haven't done one since the Red Mage, since the Red Blue Samurai thing. I don't think they've done a job tease since then. I'm feeling a job tease right now.
All right.
I hope this Rising event's good. I really like the Moonfire Fair. I know Slyh was a big fan of the Moonfire Fair, and is really looking forward to the Gold Saucer updates in 4.4. And I know Ethys is looking forward to the Gold Saucer updates in 4.4 because he loves shitting on lore. Literally, you can emote for it. You can jump to the top and use your Shiver emote that you don't have yet, probably. Did you like the Moonfire Fair, Ethys?
I don't like jump puzzles. I like the Ray-Bans. I like the Ray-Bans. I just think jump puzzles are for platformers.
Are not content.
Do you know, that's actually a fantastic... I think jump puzzles are for platformers is the most accurate way I think I've heard that put. Because this is not a platformer, but I still like jumping. So, I feel you on. I'll accept that. All right. Okay. Anything else going on that you want to hit on before we get going?
No, I don't think so. I'm satisfied.
You're satisfied? All right. Well, thank you for joining us for Eorzivia, Ethys, and I will keep my belt on, and Slyh can try taking it off in like 5 weeks.
Oh my. Well, you guys are very welcome, and you better fucking study next time.
Listen, I did okay. I don't have to.
Yeah, I don't care. You better fucking study the next time, all right?
We're going to do it so close to the patch, it'll just be easier.
Yeah.
That's the plan. So to talk about the next few weeks of shows, speaking of which, next week we're not doing the show till Saturday because the live letter is Friday night at 8:30 p.m. Pacific, 11:30 p.m. Eastern, 1:30 p.m. wherever the fuck you are, because Australia's got multiple time zones, so I don't know what yours is technically called.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So that's going to be happening Friday. I'm going to be at PAX West. We're going to do a State of the Realm from my hotel room on Saturday, probably around 5 instead of 4, because I have something to do until 4 o'clock that day. So we will have one. Then the following week is also another weekend one, because patch notes, presumably, preliminary patch notes will happen then. The following week, we'd have to wait till Friday, because that would be the actual patch, assuming our schedule is correct. The following week would be spoiler cast. The following week would be Eorzivia.
Okay.
We're getting that literally 5 weeks. Like
right after spoiler cast. So I'm going to give you all the answers, and then we're going to do Eorzivia the next week.
You want us to get questions right?
What's the problem?
Yeah, all right.
What's the problem?
No, sounds good. No, that's fine. Yeah.
All right. So that's what it's looking like for the next 5 weeks. I'm sure we'll have some other stuff pop up. There's probably going to be interviews and stuff that we'll have to reference back at some point, but that's what the plan is for the next 5 weeks of shows. So, woo! I'm excited. And you can ask us about Pagos then, too, if you really want to. We'll see. All right. So, gentlemen, I have to thank our sponsors. You guys can say goodbye. And then my raid team, who is really hoping that my Dragoon, who's having thunderstorms right now and who's disconnected twice in the last 30 minutes, can hold his internet connection together long enough for us to raid. So, with that, want to thank our sponsors over on Patreon for State of the Realm. They've been combating #demonetized for quite some time. And honestly, even just supporting the channel overall. I haven't made a lot of video content in the last few weeks. Been kind of trying to take it easy because I just don't do that very often. So they've been awesome to continue supporting even through a bit of a lull. So we got to make sure. Ethys, stop making the fucking face.
What?
Just...
Yeah, what? Usually he says that shit to me, and
You've only done it like twice, though. To be fair, you have done a face.
That's just my face.
Yeah, but it's something wrong with it. I don't...
Wow, way to be insensitive, Happy. Jesus.
Fuck.
It's just how I look when I'm...
Okay. It's honestly, it's just because you don't look as good as Chungo.
That's a good point. No one will ever look as good as Chungo.
Exactly. So thank you to our sponsors over on Patreon. We have our first one, of course. We have our Patron of Light, who always takes pictures that are just good. I can't do it. I don't know what to say after all these weeks, dude. I just don't take good screenshots. That's all it is. That's Khuja Cross on the Jenova server. I'm not cranky today. I just, my brain hurts from thinking, all right, about lore. All right. Somebody said that we might as well have Frosty on the show at this point about lore, and he doesn't even know what the name of the patches are as far as I'm concerned. So that's not a great idea. So thank you, Khuja Cross from Jenova, for supporting, for being our patron of light all these months. We also have our standard State of the Realm sponsors. We have Shinka, we have Crimson and Talvi Swift on Coral, Just One Fox, Shadowlink on Tomberry, Dom, Asuka Wake from the Jenova server, Lemillion of Maker's Armor, Serren the Avalanche family on Malboro, Johnny Yatsuyu, Kifkin the Great Eagles on Exodus, Dark Graver, Katayoshi from Khuja, Skia Symphonia from Ragnarok, Rah Xephon from Exodus, Rylanator Westaur the Purple Warrior, Eadric Redsteele on Exodus, Lexxie Valentine, Mantaru the Rivivus FC from Zodiark, Sour Cream and Tribes from Jenova, Rynoet Chikara, Goetia of Siren, Hersh Fersh of Faerie, Phoenix Down, FC on Goblin, and Serren from Zodiark. We also have our elite State of the Realm sponsors. We got Sean, basic, Kano Uzuki on the Jenova server, Starla on Coral, Sathal, Sarah Frost from Behemoth, Diablo, Holy Tabasco, Red Thorn Asura, Kernai Oni, Askin Hawk from Shiva, Crass 015, Mustang, the Serenity FC on Ultras, Kat Kazuma, we have Serial Kira on Cactar, Ignis Fairgun from Diablos, Flesh of Famfrit, Not Quarters from Excalibur, Corvus Moonscar, Private Mikey, Spike, Nine and Kirisami, Rudy Rudiger, 10 Colossus, Killer Hackman, Roll Jr., and Kiltastic Jones.
Thank you all to our patrons.
I was an auctioneer in a previous life.
Thank you.
I promise.
Yep.
I promise that. And with that, we can say goodbye. And Ethys can escape from my terrible wrath. So, Ethys, why don't you tell everyone where they can find you at, what you've been up to?
What have I been up to? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Streaming. Lots of streaming. You can find me there. Twitch.tv/EthysAsher. I'm live pretty much every night from 8 p.m. Pacific. So come and hang out with or without your wang out, as is your preference. That's your prerogative. You can also find some lore videos on youtube.com/EthysAsher. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, everywhere else, EthysAsher. Thanks for hanging out, lads. Appreciate it.
Yeah, good to have you. Why is Slyh screwed up? Don't worry, Slyh fixed it in 2 seconds. No, yours was screwed up for a second, and then I literally clicked something twice and it fixed itself. But now it's fine.
Okay.
So Slyh, why don't you tell them where they can find you at, what you've been up to, what you got planned? Because I know what you got planned.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Slyh. You can find me on twitch.tv/Slyh, aka pretty much every damn day. With the exceptions of some days when work gets in the way. But still, every day, usually 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got Yakuza Mondays, Shin Megami Tensei Saturdays, and we've been doing a lot of Monster Hunter. It's preferably Jin, because Jin Yu is about to come out. So, we've been, playing Generations, preparing for that. So that's next week. Let's do some G-Rank.
Dude, you are way too prepared for Generations Ultimate, carrying over all your armor and everything. Oh god, I'm gonna feel like I'm gonna watch you. I'm gonna be like, I made good progress. I'm gonna watch Slyh and I'll be like, all right, I suck. All right, I'm going to PAX West now. I'm just gonna go bury my sorrows in alcohol.
Are you taking your Switch with you?
Yes, I am. It's gonna be my plane ride. I'm
Okay.
gonna my Generations Ultimate's gonna be my plane ride game. I have to solo obviously on a plane ride. I can't do online, but still.
Yeah.
Figure.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll be all right. I'll have a handle of it by then. And I'm the other guy. And I won! Yeah!
He deserves it.
I was waiting for Ethys to be like, you still suck. That's what I was waiting for.
My silence should speak volumes.
Yep. Yeah, I guess that's true. You can find me, Mr. Happy127, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all those places. In case you're wondering what this hat I've been wearing is the entire time, just last night I was invited to the MapleStory 2 premiere event. I was not a MapleStory 1 player. I have been enjoying the betas for MapleStory 2, different MMO altogether. So you're going to see me wearing this hat probably a little bit more because I like it. And as someone was asking if I had a bad haircut, no, this is what I do pretty much every time. Ethys was asking that earlier if they could see the haircut, so don't worry about that either. But we're going to be doing some stuff with that. Head starts October 1st. Right now you can actually play Mush King Royale 24/7 and earn Founders Packs and other stuff. And October 10th is going to be the launch. So on top of any Final Fantasy 14 stuff that's happening over the next few months, between AlphaScape and AlphaScape Savage, which we'll have all our video guides on, Spider-Man, Dragon Quest XI, Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, Behemoth Extreme is in Monster Hunter Worlds this Friday, and I plan on diving into that as well, and losing horribly, and everyone telling me I'm terrible and that I shouldn't even be trying. I plan to jump into all of that over the next few months. Spyro got pushed back to November. I cry. So that's what's going on with me. That's what's coming up with me, and hopefully you all look forward to some of that content. So, gentlemen, if there's no further need to continue, then we should wrap this up.
I see no gentleman here, but that sounds good.
Don't talk down about Slyh like that, okay?
What?
Exactly. You're saying there's no gentleman here. I'm saying there's one.
Oh, okay, all right. So you're saying it's self-evident that you're not, like you're fine with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
One out of three.
Sly's pretty gentle. That's true.
And Sly's also occasionally dressed up in a suit for this show, so that's a very gentlemanly look. Hildebrand wears a suit. He's a gentleman.
To be determined.
All right. To be determined.
Checks out.
All right, so thank you everyone for joining us this week. Next week, remember, it'll be a show late in the week. It'll be a jank-ass show from PAX West for me, and Slyh will look normal and sound normal, hopefully, through my laptop that I'm bringing with me from there. So please look forward to our coverage of next week's live letter and 14-hour broadcast. Remember, the live letter next Friday, 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Pretty good time for everyone except Europe. Sorry. Anyway, we're going to go on to a short post show, and then I'm going to go hit up Raid. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. We will see you next week in about a week and a half. And until then, take care.
Bye-bye.
See you next week.